Today I'm going to show you how to get rid of that mechanical sound in your drums and how to make it sound more organic, more groovy, make it sound like someone's actually playing it. So I used to struggle with this for a while, so I thought why not show you guys how I do it so that you can hopefully learn something as well. Okay, so I have a kick, some hi-hats, and a rim shot here. Let's put the tempo at maybe 86 BPM. I'll just make a basic pattern right here. Let's say dun, dun, dun. Okay, and then let's add a rim shot. And then some hi-hats. Okay, everything is super perfect and it feels like, it's just a robot playing it. So what we want to do is kind of play with two different things. The one thing is timing and the second thing is velocity. And then there's also a third thing, which is using different sounds, especially for the hi-hats. That's a great one. So one thing that I do quite often is to move all the kicks or all the hi-hats, everything that's not on the 1, 2, 3, or 4, move it a little bit to the right. So that means that I'll be taking this kick, the second one, and moving it a tiny bit to the right. Okay. You might already notice a difference. The second thing that I like doing, which is something that, many people know from J Dilla, is moving the snare a little bit early. So if I have the snare right here, I'll move it a tiny bit early. Now that already sounds a lot more groovy, even if we still have the hi-hats that are very quantized. Now, the thing that really brings the groove into your drums is actually the hi-hats, or if you have percussion, then it's going to be percussion. But the hi-hats are something that will kind of make your whole drums sound different. Now, something as simple as moving all the hi-hats a little bit to the right, a little bit later, will already do the job, kind of. Let me show you how that sounds. And then you can always see how far you can go. You see how that's already sounding different, how it's already more groovy, even if it's still quantized and we're just moving it to the right. Sometimes that's a very cool vibe. Now what I would do here is shorten the hi-hat. Which is also a very important thing. Like, you should listen to the length of your one shots. Maybe you'll notice a difference now that I've shortened the hi-hat. It sounds different as well. There's a different groove to it than if it's very long. So the length of your one shot will also very much influence your groove in your drums. Okay, now that's sounding better. But if we really want to make the hi-hats give it really a live vibe, then I would recommend you guys to take different hi-hats, or if you want, you can take the same one and alternate the length of them. So here in my drum pack, I actually have some hi-hats where I have the same hi-hat, but I kind of tweak the sound so that's already done for you. So you can actually just take these three, which I've done here, and just alternate them. Now, one thing that I often do is like imagine a drummer playing the drums and kind of hear it in my head. So if I'm thinking of the hi-hat, he's going to play like. So every hi-hat that goes on a 1 is going to be the louder one and a bit longer. And then the ones that are in between are going to be very short and very low. So that's what I try to imitate. I kind of hear it in my head and then create it in the DAW. So I'm going to listen to the hi-hats and see which one is the longest one. So this one is obviously the longest one. Let me take all the ones that are on 1 and move them. Okay, sounding different already, right? Let's find the shortest one. This one would be the shortest one, number 2. So let's take all these, the ones that are in between, and put them down here. Okay, already different. So it's still sounding kind of mechanical. So what I would do here is still shorten them because they're quite long still. Especially the ones that are in between the 4th notes. What we're going to do now is do the timing again. Since I really want it to sound human or natural, I'm going to use the Humanize button on Ableton, which is great. And it's going to move the hi-hats slightly to the left or to the right so that it's not totally perfect. Still on time though. Now the next thing is I'm going to move the 8th notes, or 16th I think even. Yeah, 16th. Going to move them to the right. So now it's sounding very like swingy. If I move the 8th note to the right as well. And here you really have to be listening to the sound. How does it feel? Okay, this feels kind of... This feels dope. And the next thing we want to do is play with the velocity. Here you also want to like hear the drummer playing it in your head. Every 4th is going to be the loudest one. Then the 16th will be kind of lower and the 8th will be a bit louder. So let's do that. Let's take all the 16th, move them down, make them low, and the 8th maybe like in the middle. Okay, cool. Sounding better. One thing that I like doing is emphasize the snare, like the 2 and the 3 also. So I'm going to reduce the velocity on the 1 and the 3. Sorry, I meant the 2 and the 4. So I'm going to reduce the velocity on the 1 and the 3 so that the 2 and the 4 are going to be a bit louder. Okay, sounding better, still a bit programmed. So what we can do now is kind of, move the velocity a bit around a bit so that it's not actually always the same. Sounding a lot more organic. Now maybe the 16th can be a bit shorter. Yeah, and the 8th as well. I love how it sounds. Now if you want to add more groove to it, something that I like doing is sidechaining the hi-hats to the kick. So I'm taking a compressor and sidechaining it to the kick. And I make the release as low as I can. Sometimes I even put it at 1 millisecond. That will kind of distort the hi-hats, but I sometimes really like the sound of it. Okay, sounding cool. Now if you want to do some more things to the kick, maybe we can add like a kind of a double kick right here. This is sounding kind of quantized as well. So thinking of the drummer again, that kick is going to be lower than the number 1 kick. So I'm going to reduce the velocity and move it to the right a bit as well. There you go. Cool. So I like the snare. Maybe we can add like another snare right here. Yeah, that's cool. Moving it to the right a bit as well. We can actually repeat this. Boom. One thing that you can do as well, something that I often do, is just use loops. And I have some loops in my Drum Essentials pack. Let's take this one. Maybe let's move it a bit to the right. One thing that I would do here is also add, sidechain it to the kick. And maybe this snare could be a bit lower. One thing that I like to use is the plugin knock. So once that I have a good sounding groovy drum kit, I just put this on it. Just to make it punch a bit more. After that, just play some chords over it and you're gonna have a sick beat. So yeah, this was it. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you guys learned how to make your drum sound more groovy, more human. If you guys are interested in learning more from me, I also offer one-on-one coaching. You can click on the link below and just book a free call. We can just discuss if I can help you and how I can help you. Also, if you like the drum sounds that I've used in this video, they're also available for sale. So you can click the link below and just get them if you want them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.